All right, so today let's go over 3 features in your maps fishing chart that you really should know because they can help you out some and really help you customize your fishing adventure, right? First one is called Navade. The second one is how to set up your heading line. And the third one is your map orientation. And I'm going to tell you right now that map orientation is pretty important. And if you stick around till the end, I got a bonus tip for you on some depth shading and where to find that. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start out with a feature called Navade. And I think I'm saying that right, at least that's the way it's spelled. So we'll go to Charts, Fishing Chart, and then we'll go ahead and go to our menu and go Layers, Chart, and Navade. Now, as you can see, my Navade size is larger right now. So watch when I change these, watch my icons over here. So if I go to smaller, see it makes those icons smaller. Normal, which is what you're set at now. You got larger, or larger, and then largest. So I keep mine set to larger is where I set mine. And that can really be helpful when you're out on the water. So go ahead and set those up, especially if you're like me and you have to wear bifocals. It helps out, okay? Now the next one we'll go into is your heading line. And your heading line is going to be found under My Vessel, and it's right there on top. It's called heading line. And you can see it right there. It's that line that's coming out from my boat icon. So we can go ahead and turn our angle markers on. Now watch what the angle markers do. They give you a 360 of the distance that you have set. So if I have that set to 80 feet, which I do now, let's go ahead and set that to 180 feet. And you can see that moved all of those way out. Now I keep mine at 80 foot because I'm a fisherman and that's kind of a good distance for when I want to creep up to a waypoint when I'm casting. So let's go ahead and change that back and put mine back to 80 foot before I forget. 0080. And there you go. And those angle markers are real handy. And let me tell you why they are. Unless you have additional equipment like a heading sensor, it's kind of hard for your boat when you're going really slow, like I'm going to say under a mile an hour. It is really hard for your boat to tell what orientation you're in. You may be traveling like up this channel and it may be showing you going sideways if you're going too slow because the GPS signal in your unit is not as sensitive or calibrated like a heading marker is. Now some other things you can do are what are called roses, but before we go there, you can see I've got the display in distance, and you can change that to time if you're navigating offshore. You can definitely change that to time, but I leave mine on distance. And the source is auto. And to be honest with you, I haven't changed these or, put it on a particular setting here because I don't have any additional equipment or a network to support that equipment. All right, so on the roses, again, if you wanted true wind, which let's turn that on, you can see that arrow there. I believe to get the true wind and the apparent wind, true and apparent wind, which gives you 2 different arrows, I believe you would have to have additional equipment because I don't think this is going to take in for granted, real-time wind accuracy. But you can put a compass on there, and that could be real handy. And I'm one of those people, again, if you've watched any of my videos, if you're one of them people who always knows where north is, that's not me. So I go ahead and leave the roses off personally. But that may be something that's really going to help you out. So let's go ahead and go back and go to our next one, All right, so I hope you're finding the video helpful so far. And if you're wondering, oh my gosh, I'm just not going to be able to remember all this, hey, got you covered. If you're new to the channel, I have spreadsheets and some printable outlines that you can go ahead and get for free. Now, they don't cover live scope and they don't cover the UHD 2. But if you'll go down in the link in the description, there's what's called the landing page, and that'll send you a welcome email with the links to those sheets. And if you don't get them, if you don't want to do it that way, you can send me an email to doubletfishing@outlook.com, and I'll go ahead and make sure and get those sheets out to you. And they're very helpful, and again, they're free. I put out a monthly newsletter that I'll sign you up for, and it's normally full of helpful tips and things like that that'll help you with your sonar units and some bass fishing information. So let's go ahead. Sorry about my voice. I just got over a flu, but let's go ahead and get back to it. It'll be the map orientation. So we'll go to menu, we'll go to chart setup, and right up top is what's called map orientation. Now this is real important. Like I just said, you can go with north up, so north is always going to be pointing up on your chart, and that could be handy for a lot of people. You got head up, which that one, just north and head up, seem to really twist the map a lot for me when I'm navigating. It's not bad either way when you're up on plane and you're going to somewhere. But when you get close to a waypoint and you're trying to circle around and come in from the right angle, that map twisting can really be a headache. So what I've found over the years is course up works best for me. But that's something you're going to want to play with because that is personal preference. But trust me, when you first get your unit, the maps are going to twist and turn on you and it's going to drive you crazy. In some of my other videos, I've always said that try to keep going when you're going to a waypoint. Like if I'm going to head to this waypoint, I'm going to line up in a straight line with it, and I'm going to try to do probably a mile an hour. Anything less than a mile an hour, and those maps can start twisting around on you. And when you actually get to your waypoint, I found that course up probably is the best for keeping your map from twisting and turning on you. And as a bonus, let's go ahead and take a look at something here. Let's go back to our main menu, and we're going to go to layers and water. And that's where you have your depth shading. This is kind of a bonus. This is where you have your depth shading, shallow shading, and fishing contours. So let's take a look at the fishing contours. See, you can turn all your contours off if you wanted to. Because remember, those fishing contours and those depths that are shown on there, that is not real time, okay? This is real-time water temp, and this would be your real-time depth, which we're, sitting in my studio, so we don't have a depth. Now, shallow shading is either manual, or you can just put a depth in there, what you want your manual, or you can put it in auto. Either one. I keep mine in manual, and I keep it at 20 feet. And your depth shading is where you can set up these depths, these colors over here along the shoreline. And that's real handy, and I go into that in depth in other videos. But anyway, that's kind of I won't say it's hidden, but it is a little bit different because it's in your layers menu and it's underwater. So anyway, I thought I'd show that to you as a bonus. All right, if you've made it this far, you probably figured out that some of these settings are hidden a little bit and you got to go to different places to find them. And I will tell you that the charts is probably the most complicated to navigate through of all the menu structures. That's why I wanted to go ahead and do a video specifically for this. Again, if you want to get those spreadsheets, send me an email or go to the landing page in the description, and we'll go ahead and get those sent out to you. And until next time, keep calm and hook 'em, and watch this video next.